You kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just hold me. Just hold me. Just hold me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds, and when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just hold me. Just hold me. Just hold me. Just hold me.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I apologize. My mic disconnected itself. Anyways, good evening. This is Angel Santiago with the Sim Racing Media Network. We are live here from beautiful Texas Motor Speedway. We are live for the Roughneck Racing Series as they head on to, moving on to the second half of the season already. And, man, we've had some quite the exciting action, really, the last couple of weeks. Last week, some great action as well. Chris Barker, right now, your points leader coming into tonight's race. He's got 244 points. He's got a 5-point lead over Jeffrey Ledford. And then Jimmy Rowdy, 222. So he's about 22 points behind Barker. Big jump last week and being able to get that win and having had back-to-back wins. So excited to get racing tonight. These drivers are getting their qualifying laps completed. You'll see that there at the bottom right now. The top driver is Steven Shu. So we'll see how these drivers are able to get settled in. While they get their qualifying laps completed here, or go ahead and bring up There we go. Looks like it's a little bit behind. As always, the James Wagner's Welding 150. Again, big shout out to James Wagner's Welding for being the title sponsor for the league for this season. Big shout out to them for coming on board. Aside from that, for those watching and anybody that did want to know, Doug, or as we call him here, James Wagner, he is back tonight in his number 30 truck. We are excited to have him. Spoke with him a little bit before the race. He says he's happy to be back and just looking to make it through the end of the race. Hopefully not too much or not too exhausting for him. Right now, looks like, we just had someone go to the top of the board, but while we wait for qualifying to be completed over the next minute, the ambient temp, 69 degrees, 76% humidity, so going to be a little bit more humid night, something these drivers haven't been quite used to, and 12 miles per hour wind, so watch for these trucks to get loose coming off of these corners, depending on that wind direction. The track temp being 71 degrees, going to be nice and grippy, so you'll see these trucks going to be full throttle through 3 and 4. 1 and 2 going to take a little bit of work, as we do know 1 and 2 being very oddly shaped, I guess, as one might say. Being much lower banking, a lot of difference there in 1 and 2. You'll see that as we go here into the evening. Already nighttime for tonight's race, so we don't have to race in the day where it's hot and slick like usual at Texas. So gonna be, I say, some exciting racing. I know Texas, a lot of people have their bad opinions about Texas, but honestly, we can have some pretty good racing here, especially with the drivers in this league and what we've seen so far. Qualifying is complete here. We'll go ahead and move over to get that qualifying order. Chris Melton in that number 49 truck, and that Ford F-150. I believe this may or may not be his first race here with this league. I'm seeing with Stephen Shu, it is a tie for first. Actually, a tie for the pole. They have to go past the 1,000 mark to determine the pole for this. That is unbelievable. That is something you very rarely see. I have personally been on Stephen Shu's end of this, of 2 drivers getting the same time and giving it to the other one. I don't remember how iRacing does it, if it's the second truck or maybe it's the higher iRating, whatever it may be. So Stephen Shu had pole qualifying time. Just unfortunately, Chris Melton did as well. Chris Barker and Tim Richardson, they're gonna make up row number 2. Chris Ramsey and Daniel Love, row 3. Row 4 to Doug Wagner and Jeff Scott, Jeffrey Ledford and Ty Trafford in row number 5. Row 6 belongs to Chad Hawkins and Richard Hartman. Brandon Hinton and Jerome Cooper make up row 7. Row 8 is Matthew Gall and Ryan Gomez. Ryan Gomes, I think. No, that's what I say Gomes. I think Ryan will say it eventually. Larry Fairman and Jason Kinney in row 9. And then Matthew Ace is going to round out the field back in the 19th position. Jason and Matthew did not put qualifying laps down. Let's get ourselves moved over to the trucks on track. We have just the slightest of moments. Let's go ahead and find. We're not gonna have an opportunity to do this. I want to be able to give him a proper interview for our pole sitter. I should say pole sitters. I think Stephen Shu definitely deserves the credit. Again, had that qualifying time. We have 100 laps to be completed here in tonight's race. We saw these trucks about the 30, I think it was 35, maybe 37 second range generally. So this race can go quick if you're not on your toes, keeping on it. 75% fuel capacity for these trucks in tonight's race. And we have 4 total tire sets. You got to make them go 25 laps a set, and it's not as easy as it sounds. These tires can wear, especially because you're going to be full throttle through 3 and 4, so there's no real tire saving to go along with that. And, we'll have to see how these drivers are able to adjust from there. See Barney the flag man getting ready to drop the green flag. And Chris Melton from the pole today. We're green flag racing from Texas. wrong one. There we go. These drivers coming up through 1 and 2. Chris Melton with the lead. Chris, I'm going to hope not to mess up your name too many times tonight. Drivers going down the backstretch. Down here into turn number 3, you see the first couple of positions have already been determined as they go through 3 and 4. But it actually looks like Steven Shu is going to have a little bit of a run here. Coming off turn number 4. He's not going to be able to do anything with it this lap. But we got a close battle now. But first, we got one driver in the wall. That will bring out our first caution of the day. It looked like he was going to shoot back down the track there. So I almost was surprised that caution was quicker. Let's go back here and see exactly what all happened. All right. Nope. We're gonna try to find the drivers involved in this one. Let's see. The 25 of Brandon Hinton. He's gonna come off of turn 4. He's going down the front stretch, and he's just following behind another truck. And the way the front stretch comes out, if you're following and you're not just paying 100% focus, it'll just come out and grab you, and that's exactly what happened to Brandon. I say that again from personal experience. I have absolutely done the same. So. Actually, you know what I would like to do is we're gonna go on board here so that you can get exactly, just so you can get this understanding what I mean. So he's behind, I think this is Ty Trafford and that 82 truck in front of him. And see, Ty gets into the wall. He's just here, and then immediately it just comes out of nowhere. That's how fast that happens. It's even faster when you go on board. I'm glad we did that. Alright, let's go ahead and we shouldn't see anybody up front going on to pit lane, so we're going to go ahead and find our pole sitter. Alright, we may or may not be back. I think it looks like my internet had a quick little disconnect, but we are good to go. Let's try that again. Ooh, that was almost not a panic mode, but that was close. Alrighty. Chris, this is Angel here in the SRM broadcast booth. You got me?
Yes, sir.
Well, Chris, you're gonna come out here. Your first race with the trucks here, and you're gonna come out and grab the pole. You got a fast truck on there tonight, don't we? Okay, everybody, hold on tight. I do apologize. We're having some issues with my internet here at home. Chris, can you hear me again?
Yeah, I can.
There you go. Sorry about that. We got a fast forward F-150 tonight, grabbing the pole here. Not by much. What's the plan for tonight? And man, how are these trucks handling for you guys?
Feels pretty good at night. My plan is I think I'm just gonna try to save a little bit. I don't think I'm gonna go all out. It's too early.
Yeah, you're talking about saving those tires. Are we having some tire wear here?
Yeah, it's not tremendous, but it's enough to make a difference.
Yeah, well, you only do get 4 total tire sets, so that does make a 25 lap average. Chris, I see here, hometown of Longwood, Florida. Is that where you're from currently?
Yes, sir.
Hey, man, that is awesome. We're broadcasting right here out of Orlando, so we're not too far.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's awesome.
So, man, well, good luck tonight, and we'll see if we can't talk to you at the end of this one. Okay, everybody. We're gonna hold on one moment. If this happens one more time, we may just do a brief disconnect and then come back to see what is wrong with my internet. It's coming in and out. All right, truck is back down. Pace truck, sorry, is down pit lane. And we're Green Flag Racing here from Texas as Chris Melton with a fantastic restart there. And Steven Shu as he's now got Chris Barker to his inside for that second position. Chris, our current points leader, seeing Jeffrey Ledford right now back in the 17th position, who actually came down pit lane and topped off, decided to do something a little bit different from his points competitor right there. Absolutely love something to try to switch it up, as right now the 46 has a really good run there off of turn 4, and he's actually going to go for the lead down the front stretch. I wasn't quite expecting that out of the 46, and as a matter of fact, the double zero is going to take advantage of the 49's misfortunes and trying to give up some space, as he's going to go to his outside and try to make the pass for second. Alright, everybody, give me just a moment. I want to leave this just on this view for a few minutes here while I can get this figured out as to what else is happening. I do apologize. We will be back. I'm just going to go ahead and leave it here for just a moment. Okay, everybody, I do apologize. I'm not sure what may or may not be happening here. Just starting to pull things off of Wi-Fi, my phone, anything that I can. Maybe that helps, not something typical. We'll run a diagnostic here at one point. Okay. So, I do apologize for being a little bit delayed there. Let's go ahead and get a run through of the field while... just so we can get an idea as to where our drivers are at. If you are in chat, hopefully it's still working. Let us know who you're rooting on. As always, Stephen Shue from North Wilkesboro, North Carolina, currently in first. Chris Barker, your points leader, in second. He's in a new paint scheme tonight, also from North Wilkesboro. Chris, your post leader, we finished speaking with him, Longwood, Florida. Longwood's just about... depending where in Longwood, depending where in Orlando, but could be anywhere from a 30-minute drive away. So Chris not far north from our broadcast studios tonight. Daniel Love and his number 71 Ford F-150. We were talking about last week how we didn't have many Fords running up front. Right now, 2 in the top 4. Then we have Tim Richardson back in his number 2 truck tonight. Of course, he was running that 30 last week. And speaking of the 30, James Wagoner currently running in the 6th position after missing last week. So he's definitely looking pretty good right now. See if he can pull off a top 5 and maybe a victory himself in tonight's race. Jeff Scott in his number 38 from Merrill, Wisconsin. He's got a new paint scheme as well, one that we have not seen. This is looking good. Always love an opportunity to get a nice look in at some of these drivers' paint schemes. Chris Ramsey here in that number 13 truck. Ty Trafford, and he's side by side. Oh, we got a couple drivers here. Let's go ahead and pull back out. We got a battle for 9 between Jason Kinney and Ty Trafford. Remember, Jason actually started in the back of the pack, and right before removing that graphic there for Ty Trafford, he's from Fort Worth. I'm going to imagine I don't know if there's any other Fort Worths here, but going to assume here in Texas. So a home race for Ty Trafford right now, going in the wrong direction in the back. Let's see how he does, maybe managing his tires. Let's see. Jerome Cooper making his way through. Matthew Gall here at number 78. A lot of drivers updating their paint schemes this week. Love it. We've had some really nice ones throughout the year, and love to see a good refresh as well. Jerome Cooper at number 70. Chick-fil-A. Gotta love it. 99 for Larry Fairman and his Castro Edge. Usually running top 5, so it looks like maybe just Texas, one of those tracks that doesn't suit well for him, at least at the moment. Then we're going to have Richard Hartman, the third, coming across here. In 16th, Matthew Ace. You know, this is a driver who just kind of is always so patient. We got to remember, he finished second in the standings last week, if I'm not mistaken. Not him or Matthew Gall, or maybe Matthew Gall. Hopefully I don't mix up the Matthews. But Matthews always, Ace has been a very patient driver, and we always find him towards the end of the race somehow in the top 10 as well. So keep an eye on him. Chad Hawkins here in 18th, and then Brandon Hinton was that driver who had that issue on that first and only caution of the day so far. And so he is currently out back. Chris Barker took the lead in that process. Let's go take a look at this here. This was the pass for the lead on lap 17. You see Barker just gets a great run off of turn 4 and just carries it all the way through. Not just fast forward through, but we are in green flag racing, so we don't want to miss too much of it. And Steven Shue not going to fight him too much and just going to kind of let him go right back up front. Right now, Barker with a 7/10 of a second lead in front of Chris Melton, your pole sitter. As now Steven Shue falls to third, so maybe using up a little bit of that tire early on there. Daniel Love still hanging on there in fourth. Tim Richardson's got James Wagner. So Tim was in that number 30 truck last week. And, man, that third truck's been all over his back bumper the last couple of laps. Carlos, you are absolutely correct here in our YouTube chat. It is another great night for racing. It is a nice, relaxing 68 degrees here in Orlando. I'm sure in Texas we're looking pretty good right now. As I say, they did say 69 degrees for these drivers, so it's nice ambient temperature as well. That 71 as well, looking good there. Carlos in that fourth position, just kind of minding his own business. 0.6 of a second behind Steven Shue. That last time around, about stabilized with him. They were within 0.5 tenth speed-wise. The fastest truck on track that last time around was your leader, Chris Barker, currently 0.5 tenth quicker than Chris Melton was that last time. So we'll see these drivers work around, trying to try to do some tire saving, trying to figure out what works for their truck and what doesn't. We're about 20 laps into this run, more or less. We'll jump on board with your leader here, see what kind of, well, how is his truck handling? Oh, here, I should bring my... We'll be able to do this at this moment only because my FO view for racing reasons is well, of course, right on top of the dashboard. That maybe make some drivers out there cringe. I've got a small little monitor. That's all I got to use right in front of me, and that's what we use with the iRacing calculator. And well, I'll get that adjusted here by the next commercial break. Right now, about quarter of the way through the race already, and your leader still Chris Barker, but guess what? Chris Melton is just slowly picking away at that lead. Exactly what he said. He wants to just save his tire. Maybe it's not like it's a big tire difference, but hey, if anything that you can save and have that advantage towards the end of the run is really where you want to be focused on. We're going to be jumping back to the back here because these drivers have just non-stop battling here, it feels like. We are almost 3 wide right now for this 12th or 11th position between Jeffrey Ledford, Matthew Gall, and Ty Trafford, as Jerome Cooper as well just lurking behind. And now we lead into this, 75% of fuel going into this race as Melton is really, really closing in on the back end of Barker. He was 2.5 tenths quicker that previous lap. This time around, he was 1.5 tenths quicker. Barker, however, measured consistency the same exact lap time, almost back-to-back laps. Melton just trying to catch up. Oh, and here it is. We will not have green flag pit stops. Lap 27, caution number 2. Oh, it was just for that pack that we were watching right there. Oh, Matthew Gall, the entire front end of the truck just completely demolished. We're going to have to see exactly what happened here. He's under the 0. Is that the 0-1 of Jeffrey Ledford? Okay, so this is our one of our championship contenders. Just not having a good night right now. Currently back in the 11th position. Oh, he gets into the wall and it sticks. Oh, and then just the netcode just brings him in. Ty Trafford involved. Jerome Cooper. Heavy damage for a lot of these drivers. Wow. Matthew Gall going to take the worst of it. While these drivers get lined back up, we had quite the distance between some of them. Almost 20 seconds between the leader and towards the end of the pack after 20-plus laps. So we'll go ahead and hit our first commercial break here of the evening while these drivers have their chance to hit pit lane. And then we will bring Stephen Shu in for our interview next, right after this. All right, we are back here. The drivers have made their way off of pit lane for their pit stops. We're going to go ahead and bring in Stephen Shu. Hold on just a moment. Stephen, this is Angel here in the SRM broadcast booth. You got me, buddy?
Yeah, I got you, man.
Oh, Steven, you're looking pretty fast tonight. Look like you had some nice front end speed there at the start of the run. But really what I want to talk about is your qualifying lap.
You seen that too, did you?
You don't want to talk about it probably, but I had to bring it up. Unreal.
How much did he beat me by? Can you see the thousands?
According to our live timing, it is 0 across the board. So we had to go. Iracing had to go into the tens of thousands to get that one.
Well, I'm gonna see if they won't give me the points for it too.
Well, that's what I was saying. I said we have double pole sitters tonight because Stephen Shu had pole sitter speed. You can't argue that. Yeah. I have been on that end of it too, Steven, and I don't usually know how it works, if it's the driver who did it second or iRating. But anyways, you've been fast up front. What do you got to do to stay up front here over the next 70 laps?
Honestly, Angel, you're going to probably see me fall back to the back right here. I'm really going to conserve tires, try to make this set last as long as I can just to get those tires at the very end.
Hey, sounds good. There's been some good action in the back there, so have fun and be careful to save those tires in the middle of all that action.
Yeah, my buddy here, Chris, we was watching it, and we're just going to see how it plays out.
All right, man. Well, good luck. We'll send you right back over.
Hey, thank you.
Paul?
Mr. Angel, how are you, sir?
We're doing good. What you got here for us?
We got a EOL penalty for the 0-1 car for making contact with the 78 in the front stretch.
Well, that's most certainly not going to help his points position. We appreciate it. Race control coming in. Green flags back out in the air. Chris Melton was with the lead. He's going to go ahead and clear. They'll single file through the first 4 positions. Man, look at these drivers get spread out so quickly. And that's one thing that I think that shows in regards to the drivers and their ability. Oh, I love these views. To just give each other room to start these, to start this. Make sure everybody's got as much space as possible so that we can really make it through and get spread out a little bit. And right now, it's Chris Barker to the lead. James Wagoner, he's looking to put up some time. He's moving into third. He said, I heard Steven Shu wants to take it a little bit easy. Let's go ahead and take advantage of that and try to make the pass on him. But, hey, Steven's been really, really quick, so it's not going to be an easy pass either. As he's now got Jason Kinney hard on his back end, looking to make some moves as well. Jason, let's not remember, he started at the tail end of the pack back in 18th. He is up 13 spots into the top 5, and he is sniffing for 4th. You can throw a blanket over this top 4 or 5 drivers, maybe not including the leader, as Chris Melton and Steven Shu battle for second hard. Steven Shu still carrying that outside momentum, just great momentum on the outside. I wonder, is the tire saving better there, or I feel like typically you would lose more tire running up out on that outside. But if you can really keep the steering wheel straight, that's the biggest thing. Keeping that steering wheel, I know it sounds odd going through the turns, but for those of you that don't race, you want to keep it as straight as possible in the sense of the less movement. That means you're not scrubbing on the steering wheel, but you're scrubbing on the tires, which means, of course, you're putting heat into it where you're really starting to wear them out. So if you can keep it steady, that's how you get the faster qualifying laps at your more high-speed tracks. As you see, the 78 of Matthew Gall coming off of pit lane now. I think he had the tow after that one. Yeah, I think that's exactly what Mayor. Yeah. And also for those of you that need, just in case for an update, they don't do the 3 fast repairs anymore for the league. Granted, we've had some really good racing even with those 3 fast repairs. They are down to 1 fast repair as well, so they're going to have to be a little bit more diligent as to how they do it. And wow, look at the move by the 22 of Ryan Gomes to the inside of Larry Fairman. It's not like, you see, he just kind of, he didn't full send it into this turn here. And so what that is not Ryan being overly aggressive. All right, well, it happened again. Sorry about that, everybody. I guess after this broadcast, I'm actually going to go ahead and close up my YouTube studio here. So for those of you in our YouTube chat, I won't be able to keep up with you guys. I do apologize. Being alone tonight, would have rather have a partner to be able to check them out, but I'm going to close that off on this side to see if that doesn't help in any way, shape, or form. But anyways, back over to what the 22 was doing. So 22 had a big run of the 99 off the turn, and instead of, again, just full sending it on him, he's just going to go carry the momentum, kind of go to his inside, but not necessarily attempt to make the pass or put the effort into it. He just didn't want to have to lose the momentum he had already. Talking about momentum, Jason Kinney, this number 66 Chevrolet Silverado, is just picking them up and putting them down. He is up 16 spots from his starting position. He was about 9th or 10th, if I'm not mistaken, when the caution came out. And now up to the 2nd position, looking, and he is hounding on that 46 for the leader. But you see right there, he clipped the apron. He clipped that white line ever so slightly, and it just got the truck upset. And you saw him lose a couple of tenths. That's how on edge these trucks are through 3 and 4. When you are full throttle through them, you can see it just sideways a little bit as he's just keeping it together. But through 3 and 4, full throttle through them. Once I figure out how to reuse our actual tools here. We got tools for this. There we go. 180 miles an hour as he goes in, and Chris Barker is just going to let him have it as they go into turn 1. And you see he's slightly off throttle. You see the blue line, that turquoise teal blue line. Full throttle you see through there. Once he gets into the turn, he just slightly lifts just so he can, and you see the reason why he's doing that is just so he can arc this turn a little bit better. If you can really arc this turn 3 and 4, oh my goodness, the momentum you can carry through down the front stretch is phenomenal. Oh, I had the wrong thing, but 77, this is our current temperatures right now. Track temp still at 71, so that hasn't changed any either. The wind speed showing at about 11 miles per hour, so that's about the same there. James Wagoner, he's coming down pit lane. I don't know if something happened to him. He's running in that 4th position. Let's see what happened to James. If he just decided to come down pit lane, I thought it was just a little early. No, not trying to lose too much in green flag runs. He looks loose through there. Oh, there it is. He hit the wall coming off of 4. Did a phenomenal job of not taking anybody else out. And decided to come down pit lane. Yeah, we saw somewhere where he had dropped. Oh, and we do have a caution now, though. Oh, okay, that's not who we're looking for. Let's see, Matthew Ace in this number 96 truck. It's not showing us who may or may not been involved. Oh, here we go. 96 is loose. He's loose. Tries to correct it. Chases it up the track. Oh, and just clips the 84. The 84. Great job, Chad Hawkins, of not of being able to keep it together, and great job with the 96. Oh, James Wagner. He had the 96 come into him. It's a good thing that those trucks don't get damaged on pit lane like that. Alrighty. A little bit of interesting right now, and tough decision right now. Do you want to pit just yet for tires? Because lap 45, if you average 25 laps a set for the 4 total tests you get, when you go back green flag racing, almost be a lap 50. It about evens out. You had about 10 laps or so of green flag racing, so tires will matter here for those that do pit and take them, or they're just coming to top off. I definitely would be interested to see what their plan is. All right, let's see where we're looking at here. Someone we haven't had a chance to speak with in a little bit. Let's see. Oh, Brandon Hinton, he's new here. Let's go ahead and drag him down. Brandon, this is Angel here in the SRM broadcast booth. You got me, buddy?
Yeah, I got a copy.
Well, welcome to the league. Your first race here in for the trucks, at least. I'm not sure if you participated elsewhere. How are you feeling in tonight's race so far?
Well, up until lap 2 when I got the outside wall. Other than that, just trying to catch up. But no, it's pretty good.
What all happened, Cat?
It was my mistake.
Yeah, those and it happens. Those happen. I've admitted to have done it myself. So nobody's nobody's perfect by any means. There, Brandon. I see you're from Speedway, Indiana. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Yeah.
No, I am.
Oh, was that great here? We know we don't have Indianapolis on the schedule. I'm sure you would love to see it. But aside from that, Brandon, how can you make the next second half of this race work for you and try to get up there and contend for a victory along with your teammate there?
Yeah, just try to get track position. I pitted right there. Didn't take tires, but got fuel. So maybe we can do something the second half of the race to where we can get that track position. So we'll see how we do. And thanks for having us.
Hey, Brandon, we love having you out here. You guys are, I always say, the drivers are what puts the show on. We appreciate it. And yeah, I love strategy. So thanks for putting it on.
Thank you, sir.
Let's see, make sure we send him to the right spot. Yep, that was Brandon. Just seeing here that him and Chris are, in fact, teammates. We'll go back to the front. We have an opportunity to do one more interview. Let's see. James has some pretty good damage on that one, so we'll want to get caught back up. Now we'll go ahead and leave it at that. The drivers are lined up side by side again. You see the lights are off on the Iracing.com official pace truck. Going through 1 and 2 here. Chris Ramsey currently in that second position. Nice to see him running up there. Second, I'm gonna try to see if I figure out one more time. We had one more disconnection here. All right. Well, try to disconnect one more thing from here and move forward. We have still second half of this race to be completed as we'll have 52 laps to go. Getting ready to go. Green flag racing here as they go through the Geico restart zone. Chris Barker with the lead, and he gets going to the gears. Clears for first, second and third clear themselves as well, along with fourth. Everybody going to give themselves as much room as possible. Again, only one faster pair. I'm sure everybody would like to try to save it for the end if they possibly can. Jeffrey Ledford, you see him making his way through the field here. He pit on that last time, 7.5 second stop, so he could have either taken right sides or just topped off on fuel. But nonetheless, up here to the 8th position now, trying to make up some time and catch his championship competitor in Christopher Barker, who's currently out front and leading this race. Oh man, you see that? Chris wanted to go 3 wide there. Jeffrey just did not give him the room. They were going to be 3 wide. Jeffrey in the 49 and the 01 almost make a little bit of contact. The 66 is going to sneak his way through. Great driving by all those drivers to keep it in one piece. That could have been a big one right there. Wow, that was halfway through here now in the race. Chris Barker, your leader, Ryan Gomes in second, Daniel Love in third, Chris Ramsey in fourth, and Ty Trafford, the Fort Worth native, here in 5th place. We'll bring him in for me. We hope here to give a shout out for his hometown. Trying to look for maybe one of these drivers that may or may not have come down pit lane here. Yeah, so Jason Kinney's up to the 6th position here. We had 7 drivers not pit that time. So he's not made a ton of time up. Right now, your current leader, Chris Barker, will go ahead and go to the field close to our lap 60 point. But we're going to go ahead and go give all of our fans here a nice Turn It Up session. We'll be right back, everybody. As always, if you're listening here on headphones, we'll turn up the iRacing sounds a little bit. Get to enjoy those engine sounds, so just be careful for the headphones. All right, we are back here. Okay, I apologize again for what some of the issues that we're going through. Of course, affecting our stream ever so slightly. Right now, as we're going through, whoa, we see that 13 was a little squirrely there. He's now got that 71 of Daniel Love right on his bumper. But the big question here is Jason Kinney. He has continued to pick him up and put him down. We know he took minimum right side tires on that one, and now as we're going to come down to 40 laps to go, he'll be looking to take the lead possibly. And then from here for Chris Barker, Ryan Gomes, Chris Ramsey, Daniel Love, Ty Trafford, and Richard Hartman is when do they come down pit lane, as they last pit on lap 28 of this race. We've had 2 cautions since, but still 75% fuel, and then eventually you're just going to want to get a change of tires. We got some great action going on through the rest of the pack, but right now we've got a possible battle for the lead here. We definitely don't want to miss out on it. See there at the bottom right. I will get that maybe set up in a different spot next time. But Barker right there with just a 10th and a half, and then you got 1 second back to Ryan there in third. So he'd love to see these guys battle it out a little bit more to hopefully try to catch up to them. But for those that took tires there, if they did, hasn't really helped a ton. It seems like, so I'm gonna have to assume everybody back there maybe just fuel only to try to top off. And Jason Kinney decided he wanted right side tires to try to take the lead in the process. man, look at the 66. He is on the right rear quarter panel of the 46. He is looking for the lead. He's going to have a real good run. He can send it here into 1. The question is, does it stick as well as he hopes? Oh, he's going to get loose in a bobble off of 2. He's going to have to let up, but guess what? The tire difference is still just enough with the bobble and the momentum. He's going to be to the outside here of Chris Barker. He'll pin him. Barker gets a little bit under the apron, slides up a little bit. The 66 is going to have plenty of room to try to clear himself in front of that 46. And the 66, Jason Kinney, is your new leader. He leads that time around. Now we can focus in right here. Daniel Love, as these guys are battling it out, along with Ryan and now Chris Melton. They have slowly inched their way closer, but now it is a battle for third between these 3 trucks. And Ryan's going to stay right in front of it and let Daniel Love and Chris Melton attempt to go back and forth. And Larry Fairman, he actually looks like he may have taken 4 sets of fresh feel goods, and he's made his way here to the 6th position. So for, oh, and here it is, we got a caution. I was just about to say, so for a driver like him, he's got 1 set of tires remaining. I don't know if he's going to want to pit here and take it. Jason Kinney, he only has 1 side of right sides remaining, so we'll have to see what he decides to do. As we'll have currently 35 laps to go. We'll have probably about 30 to go. Jason, maybe just take left sides, but the same, you want to have that. You're hoping to still have a fresh set here for the end of the race in case you have maybe a late, 10, 15 lap run. Let's see exactly what all went on in the back to cause this, or the drivers are in the back now because of this incident. But it looks like the 38 of Jeff Scott. Oh man, and the 78, poor thing for him as well. Doesn't look too bad there. Alright, well, we'll let these drivers decide what they are going to do. While they decide coming down pit lane or not, we'll go ahead and... Well, actually, I'm a little bit interested to see what the 66 truck does. Oh, he's going to take his four tires. Jason Kinney's betting on this one being the last of the last restart. Oh, Larry Fairman decided to stay out. He did not want to use his last set, so he is going to try to save it. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. I'm going to let everybody go ahead and get settled in here to their current positions. Again, Larry Fairman, your current leader, the James Wagner, and the 78 of Matthew Gall in front, looking to get their laps back by taking the wave around. Or not. James will not take the wave around.
Penalties, penalties, penalties.
Here we go. We got penalties. What we got here, Paul?
One, we've got a penalty for car 38 for making contact with the 78 and bringing out the caution after he got loose.
Oh, yeah, definitely was unpleasant there for the both of them. Appreciate that, Paul. Thank you very much.
No problem.
Oh, hold on, everybody. That's my dog's got it. You hear my dog in the background. Sorry about that, everybody. And as we get completed here over the next 30 laps or so, be sure to check us out on our. Okay, what am I doing? We still got almost a lap under here. Let's get Larry Fairman in here for a quick. I'm trying to throw him off too much here, hopefully. Larry, this is Angel here in the SRM broadcast booth. You got me, buddy?
Yeah, which one am I using? This one?
Yep. Larry, you hear us? All right. This is Angel in the SRM broadcast booth, buddy. You got the lead here. Decided to stay out. What's the plan and the goal here over the next 30 laps? Alright, we're having some technical difficulties trying to get Larry in with us. He was on, hear him briefly, and then it kind of cut out there. So we'll let that go for now. All right. So Larry Fairman again. Remember, he did not take tires on this one here on this lap. Just caution. Oh goodness. I'm trying to at least pull up the broadcast on my phone so that everybody can. Not gonna be able to pull that up for now, but Larry Fairman, he's the man on point, up to the lead, getting through those gears. We are green flag racing again here from Texas Motor Speedway. We've got 30 laps to go, and here comes Jason Kinney. He's got the fresh tires. He's gonna move to the outside, and he's gonna take the lead here. As we didn't notice, but Chris Barker had actually lost a couple of spots there on pit lane, so he's back to the 7th position. We'll have to see how this may or may not affect him as they get to the final 30 laps, but here comes Chris Melton, your pole sitter, with a big run on the outside. He's looking to make a run there on the outside, and Daniel Love there on the outside for 3rd. You see these drivers, you're going to have to be, still need some patience here. 30 laps to go, there's still a full tire run. You know, you have to assume that if you don't have any type of incidents whatsoever, that I saw one truck get sideways, I think, in the back. That was Chris Ramsey, but I think he kept it straight, so no caution. So, again, assuming if you don't have a caution to the end of this race, what you don't want is to have wore out tires because you pushed it too hard in the beginning. Now, also, there's the other end of that of you don't want to try to save too much. A caution come out, you lost 6 or 7 spots. Now, everybody gets reset on a fresh set of feel goods. And now, all you've done is lost the spots. And right there, wow, Larry Fairman was loose there. He's going to put the block there almost on the 46 as they go into turn 3. Oh, you see how loose that truck is on those older tires. He's trying to keep up with everybody, but there's only so much you can do when you're on 20-lap older tires. Go back to the front here. Jason Kinney. Chris Melton, your pole sitter, just put down his quickest lap of the day. And then further back, Richard Hartman and Ty Trafford also putting down their fastest laps of the evening. So these are drivers. They have got it hooked here for the final quarter of the race. So now these drivers look to try to get past the 99 truck of Larry Fairman on these older, on these older tires. Look at the way these guys spread out. That's one thing about Texas, that you have multiple lanes. I think that's what every driver wishes for. I guess we're cooperating again. Here we go. Whoa! Look at this 3 wide there. Tim Richmond, Jeffrey Ledford, your one of your championship contenders here, and Chad Hawkins, they were 3 wide there through 1 and 2. That was great to see. Back here to the front. As the battle continues all throughout, everybody's mostly trying to stay single file here, just trying to give themselves an opportunity again. You still got 24 laps. We'll have 23 laps across the line this time around, where, you know, you don't want to use your tires too much. You want to save, but it's also that point in the race you start getting a little antsy. So maybe those who did a good job of saving tires, they start pushing a little bit too much, and this is when we get to see the fun, where the drivers really go do battle. As you see, Chris Barker is just trying to make his way back up to the field. I don't know what happened to his pit stop. I mean, he was a little bit slower than everybody else. His pit time was over a second longer than those drivers around him. So 1.3, 1.5. He was a lot slower in his pit. I don't know what else to say. Hoping now at this point that maybe the computer or the internet makes it here to the end of the race. And hopefully broadcasting still at the next week, everybody. We're doing everything we can to try to find something as to what all is going on. Everything is just dropping nothing right here. The battle's gonna keep picking up here as these drivers in the back half of the top 5 and the top 10 are really trying to make their way up. You know, anybody really in this group up here is the first 9 drivers. Sorry, Hawkins is right in there with them. So about top 8 drivers or so. They're all right there in that position to win here over the final 20 laps, as long as they can keep it where they are at. And then Jason Kinney, of course, he's the one driver praying not to have a caution, considering he's not got an extra set of tires there in the pits compared to everybody else that does have one sit still. Let's talk back. You can throw a blanket over them. Let's see if this works just a little bit better now. Alright. See Chris Barker now looking to the inside of that number 4 truck of Ryan Gomez. Wow, that was loose there for Barker. I just had to catch my breath for him. As now Ledford and Stephen Shue are right there in his tail as well. Right now, this battle for first continues between Jason Kinney and your pole sitter of Chris Melton. So you have the pole sitter in Chris, and then the driver who started next to last in Jason. 2 ends of the spectrum in qualifying tonight. Jason didn't put down a qualifying lap, to be clear. And wow, look at these drivers as they go do battle right now. We're going to come down to 15 laps to go as Chris just keeps peeking to that outside of the 66. Now you see Barker to the inside of Ryan. You had to hope for Barker that he also didn't use his tires up, just trying to get back up through the field. As he's looking still to the inside of Ryan. Ryan's going to carry that momentum. Oh, Barker just going to clip that inside there. They said that inside line. You got to stay right above it if you're not right on it. And just like that, the 49 of Chris Melton has found his way to the right rear quarter panel of the 66. The 66, though, is going to send it well into turn 1 to keep him off of it. The 49 uses it. Oh, they're going to make contact. Oh, the 49 tried to get under, and the 66 was just too slow in front of him. And that's going to be a slide for the... Oh, and the 2 is going to just destroy the front end of the 66 as well. Oh, it looks like it should be all right. Maybe more minor damage than we thought. With 14 to go, that'll be the next caution here for tonight. Wow. Battle for the lead here with 14 to go. Yeah, so the 49 have been hounding the 66 for quite a while. Slow it down here going into turn 1. So it's actually so this is where the 49 was almost playing mind games, where he got to the outside. He knew that the 66 did not want him to his outside. The 66 was trying to keep him from getting there. So the next chance the 66 got, he drove it in a little deeper into 1, while the 49 decided to back off, is why you see the 71 closed in as well as he did there. And what that is that the 49 wanted a hell of a launch off of 2 to try to get up under that 66. Yeah, so he's expecting the 66 to just slide up here. So the 49 is the only one who's able to turn down because of the way he entered the turn. The 66 is loose, 66 is loose, and I don't know if the 49 just wasn't able to just let up in time. Again, everything's happening so fast, and no, this is not just wrecking him on purpose. At that point, the 66 was sideways, and there was nowhere for Melton to go. We'll have to see what that's going to look like. I'm interested now to hear when Paul comes in. Ryan is going to stay out along with Richard Hartman. We're going to have 10 laps to go. I don't know. I assume these drivers have each pit twice, so they should have had an extra set of fuel goods, unless our timing is a little bit off. See right now, race control going over what happened there. At the end of the race, we do not interview any drivers currently on the lead lap, so we're gonna see where does James Wagoner filter out here, and if he's not on the lead lap, we'll bring him in for an interview. Yeah, I was just making sure he didn't, if he already got his lucky dog or not. Oh, looks like Chad Hawkins is okay, James is gonna come down pit lane, so he will not be taking a wave around. We'll let him hit his pit lane before we bring him in. James, this is Angel here in the SRM broadcast booth. You got me, buddy?
I got you.
Man, we're happy to have you here tonight. Unfortunate luck, you're running up there, man, in the mix of things in the top 10. How was that truck feeling?
So,
sorry about that.
It's feeling pretty good. I'm feeling pretty good. So,
hey, man, that is great to hear. We are, of course, ecstatic to have you back. And we got to bring you in. Unfortunately, not on the lead lap. You know, we don't do that with any of our lead lap cars here at the end of this one. So go out there and enjoy what's going to be, I expect to be a very good finish.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it should be a good finish.
All right. Appreciate it again. Nice to have you back. And, well, enjoy the rest of your evening, buddy.
Yep. Appreciate y'all.
All right. We're going to hope that's the last time this happens here before the end of this race. And then I get to spend the next couple of days figuring out what's wrong with my computer. All right, 10 laps to go. We'll have 9 to go as now the lights are off on the pace truck and all of our trucks are lined up side by side. I just noticed in the 38 truck has a paint. There's a paint scheme of another car on the side. Okay, that makes sense now. I was like, what is that? Now, I know Paul hasn't come down into our chat, but it looks like Chris Melton was given the EOL for causing that incident. So he'll be restarting from the 16th position. Looks like he'll be starting at least at the back end of the lead lap trucks. Ryan and Richard, they did not pit under this stop. They've got about 20 lap or so older tires. We'll see over the next 9 laps how it's going to work out for them. Daniel Love and Jess Scott behind. They've got the freshest feel goods. We're Green Flag Racing here from Texas. Ryan got a fantastic start there. Richard Hartman, he's just going to stay to the outside, stay out of the way. Daniel Love, the first one with fresh feel goods. He's going to have a big run. He's going to have to be patient here. Can he get to the outside? He's going to have to let up ever so slightly. What does this do? Is this allows Chris Barker to come into the picture? Oh boy, we're gonna be 3 wide coming off of 4. Oh no, they decided not to. Daniel Love is gonna have Chris Barker, unbelievable. He's gonna just split, take 3 positions for 1 there, go from 4th back to the front, and here comes his championship competitor, who we have not seen all day long. He moves his way back up into 2nd place. There's a reason why Jeffrey Ledford is 2nd in points right now, even on a bad night like tonight. 8 laps to go. Here he is in 2nd. Ryan's going to fall here into 4th. Richard now down to the 9th, now 10th position. With 7 to go. That last time around, Daniel Love just put down his fastest lap of the day. There's no tire saving here. It is less than 10 laps of Green Flag Racing. You have to go as hard as you possibly can and try to catch that leader. As right now, Barker is just looking to try to inch away one of only a handful of drivers to be in the 29-second bracket today. And that time around, Barker with his fastest lap of the day, a 29.87. But it was James Wagner back here in 17th. He put down the fastest lap of the entire evening. That was 2/10 quicker than your leader right there. If James Wagner was up here, man, he could be competing for a victory. Oh, I hear cars sideways. I think we got a caution. We got a caution. Yeah, I heard some tires skidding there. Oh, that's not what Barker wanted to see whatsoever. Oh no, I think this involved Tim Richardson as well. Let's see exactly what happened. Oh, he's just loose. Ty Trafford, there's nowhere to go. Oh, wait a minute. There's more issues in front of this. Hold on. Looks like this is the 13 as he catches the 22 here. Larry Fairman goes to his inside. There's 3 wide. Ah, Larry, yeah, he only had so much room there between him and Ryan that causes that incident. I think just maybe causes the checkup for everything else. Overall, not bad damage-wise. Just a lot of sliding around is all for some of these drivers. And James Wagner does get his gets the lucky dog here. Let's see, where does that place him? I think maybe only 1 lap down, if maybe here. We'll have to see. Well, we do have 4 laps to go. I don't know if this will count as an official green-white checker. We'll see with Paul. All right. We're going to find out from race control here in just a few moments if this will be considered an official green-white checkered. And of course, does matter where you only get 2 total green-white checkers for the race. Alright, he's going to go ahead and let us know once they get lined up. The reason why we say it's an official green-white checkered or not is if it were not to be an official green-white checkered, of course, this would allow these drivers to rack them up and try it 2 more times from here. And if it's, of course, it is an official attempt, then we only have 1 more attempt from here. That being the case, it matters as drivers because you really got to know. Of course, as a driver, you would already know. We don't get the same view when we are broadcasting. So that's where we will rate back on race control to see if we can get that. Of course, he is also trying to figure out the cause of that incident. There were a couple of incidents there, so he'll be a little bit busy over the next couple of minutes. We'll go over a quick rundown. Chris Barker, Jeffrey Ledford, Daniel Love, Steven Shue, and Jeff Scott currently round up your top 5. Jason Kinney hanging on nice here in 6th place, and he had to take, I think, maybe only left sides. Chris Melton has made his way up from 15th all the way up to 7th, so that he'll be in a pretty good position as well, depending on what may or may not happen. But your winner's going to come, I think, really from your top 5 right here. Lights are off on that pace truck. Yes, no, this will be an official. I think that 3 laps stayed the same right there.
It will be an official green-white checker. It's showing up now.
Perfect, perfect. Thank you, Paul. And then, what was our incident or cause of incident? We had a couple of issues there.
Yeah, a couple of issues. 99 got low on the track and down into the apron and came back up, and that's what just caused that whole big hullabaloo.
That looked
So a 99 was issued an EOL.
Sounds good. Appreciate that,
And
Paul.
then the accident before, which I didn't get a chance to come up and talk to you, there was an EOL issued to the 49.
Okay, that's what I figured. I did bring it up in broadcast. I'm like, it looks like the 49 may or may not have been given that EOL. It looks like that. So thank you very much, Paul. Appreciate it.
So I apologize. I was trying to sort out a couple things.
It's okay. No, I figured as much. And when I saw him down there and I saw you in chat with him, I figured, all right, Paul RC explaining to him, what the EOL is, and that's kind of more important than us finding out. So no worries.
Alrighty.
All right, that was your race control. May or may not be the last time we speak with him today. You only have 1 more chance. If so, pace truck is coming down pit lane, getting ready for green flag once again. Barney the flag man, he's got 3 flags to hold over the next 2 laps. The green here, the white next, and then the checkered. But it's green flag racing, 2 to go from Texas. Chris Barker there, your leader, gets a great restart. Can Jeffrey Ledford get some type of run? Does he have any help from behind to try to get to the back end of Barker? Does he use a bumper to try to get victory number 3 on the season? He's got 2. Your points leader, Barker, only has 1. Going through 3 and 4. Do they make it to the line? It is white flag here from Texas for the James Wagner's Welding 150. You see, Jeffrey's going to try to use that outside. Going to try to get some extra momentum coming off of turn 2. Does he have anything for Barker as they go into 3? Barker all the way to the bottom. He wants to cut this as low as possible. Here comes Ledford. Does he have enough of a run? He's got a little bit of a run through 3 and 4, but it may not be enough. Coming off of turn number 4, the line. Chris Barker with the victory. Chris Barker, your championship leader, looking to extend his lead. Unfortunately, not by much when your closest competitor finishes second behind you. Oh my God, Rowdy! I just realized you're not here. I miss you. You probably jumped into our chat on YouTube. I am so sorry. Oh my goodness, our winner of the last 2 races out today. But Barker back here in victory lane for victory number 2, and then Steven Shu, the guy who had the fastest qualifying lap as well. Rounding out your top 3, Chris Melton would actually come back to finish 5th. Unbelievable. Wow. Oh, this is the perfect view out here. Thank you, Jeff, and and Steven for backing up there. Alrighty, let's go ahead and let's get in. Oh my goodness, this is you know, for a moment I'm sitting here thinking, alright, these guys are nice. They're gonna go ahead and back it up, make it look perfect here for the broadcast. The 3 of you are in chat together. Are we teammates? This is 1, 2, 3 finish?
I can't believe we done it, man.
Oh my gosh, I'm over here just talking nonsense, and we got a 1, 2, 3
Dude,
finish.
We were all 3 just screaming as we come across the line.
Oh my goodness. Well, this is a great view, Chris. Your victory number 2 of the season. Almost hard to believe that this is only the second one for how well you've run all season long.
Yeah, I've made a lot of mistakes pitting and just that kind of thing. I'm glad to get a win on the oval.
Yeah, man, this has got to feel good to go ahead and do that. Unfortunately, you don't really get to extend the points lead very much when your second place driver is going to finish right behind you.
That's okay. I'd love to see him win it or me. It doesn't matter.
Hey, man, that's always great. You always love, of course, seeing that from your teammates. Chris, you went up, you went down, you were back and forth. You weren't necessarily the most dominant truck today. Not to say that in a bad way, but a little bit different.
Understandable. There's a lot of fast guys in here, and a few times I let a few guys by because, they were pushing on me, and I didn't really want to burn my tires up, so I thought I'd let them by, but then they slowed down once they got by me, so...
Yeah, I mean, so there was some great racing there for you, Chris. What did it take from you as a driver to adjust, really having to make your way back to the field?
Just try to be fast. just do what I practice. I got super lucky there. Everybody got fuel and I didn't, stayed out, and I was praying for a caution and got super lucky.
Well, from here, we go to Auto Club. And I don't know if you've done any of the officials, where they've been at Auto Club. They were Auto Club last week. Sometime in the last couple of weeks, they had the officials at Auto Club. But did you get a chance to get any practice in, or how does that truck fit into your driving style as well? That track, I'm sorry.
I in another league, I run like the Gen 6 cars there in one race. I wasn't too comfortable, so I need some practice for sure.
Ooh, Gen 6. You know what? I just got started with the Gen 6 league myself, Chris. I'm gonna have to get some advice from you after this one.
I'm not doing too well over there.
I'm sure better than me. Chris, go ahead and shout out your friends, family, anybody watching. We don't have the YouTube chat up for we're having just a little bit of technical issues here on my end. But,
I'm sure my family's probably watching them. I want to thank them. Obviously, my teammates, Jeff, Steven, Roughneck, all the guys over there. They're doing a great job. Great group of guys over there, and y'all do a good job.
Hey man, we do appreciate it. I always say it, and I always say it this way. It's you guys put on the show. I just get to talk about it. So, and we do get to see your little tribute here for Dougie on your truck. I love to see that number 30 on the sides. I'm glad we got a good view of that here on the broadcast.
Yeah, it sounds like he's doing well. That's glad to hear.
Not to say it, but you almost had the fastest lap of the evening. Steven Shu barely beat you out, but actually, Dougie had the fastest lap of everybody tonight.
Really quick, I was mad at myself. I done 29 sevens in practice constantly, over and over. I was doing 30 minutes before the race started, and I just I done terrible qualifying. I was mad at myself.
Well, I mean, Steven was tied for first.
I know, that was crazy. I guess it must have come down to the thousandths.
Well, not even the thousandths. That was also at a 0. Well,
that's fine, because Steven done it first, so I'd assumed he would have been on the pole. We couldn't figure that out, but
I think the way iRacing does it is that it's whoever qualified second, whoever put the lap down after, I think is how it works.
Okay, we was thinking the other way, but that makes sense. But
I only say that because I've been on the same end of Steven. And it's
he was tore up.
So and it's funny because he did say it. I said, I think we get double pole sitters tonight. So, Chris, congratulations again on your victory. Don't get to extend that points lead too much. But hey, congratulations, and we'll see you next week at Auto Club.
Thank you, guys.
Man, it's always a blast to get to talk with these drivers. Always so much fun. We're gonna go ahead and get in. Here is driver number 2 of Foothills Motorsports, Jeffrey Ledford. You got me here, buddy.
Hey, how's it going, Angel?
Well, 1, 2, 3 finish. I'm sure you would like to be that number 1, but sure, he did say that you guys were screaming coming across the line. I'm sure with nothing but joy, anyways.
Hey, man, this is what we've been wanting all season, was us 1, 2, 3 it. And we didn't even know if there was a chance tonight because I started in the back. Steven fell back about midway, wanting to come up, and just save his stuff. Tires were a big thing here. It got really loose, really slick. That last caution when we all pitted, we was like one position away from each other, and one of us had just mentioned about, man, it'd be sweet if we could get our 1, 2, 3 here. This way, this track's been fighting. I was like, man, I don't know if I've got a top 3 in me. And sure enough, a couple guys up front didn't pit, and cards just fell just right. Steven was a couple behind on that restart. It was like, we're going to have to time this just right to get in line, and we're going to have to hold the bottom because the bottom is slower, but you can't get enough momentum on the outside to make it happen, and it just worked for us, dude. We're ecstatic, man. That was awesome.
It's funny. You're obviously going to hear it back, but I have it set on the start-finish line. Chris pulls up. The two of you pull up, kind of blocking it, so I was going to change the camera, then suddenly back up. I'm like, oh, this is nice. You go ahead, back up. And then when I realized the 3 of you are in chat and your teammates, I'm like, oh my gosh, we have a 1, 2, 3 finish for teammates here. So, yeah. Unfortunately, you don't, I mean, yes and good and no, you don't get the win, and the points leader is the winner, but finishing second isn't the worst thing if your points leader is going to win the race so that you don't lose a ton of points either.
Yeah, I think Matthew Gall is our closest competitor right now. He was running 3rd, I believe, and he had a rough night. I think he had into a wreck earlier on. He got into me and him. I got loose and got into him once, but I think he recovered from that okay. And I think he may have got into another issue or something later on, and he was several laps down. So I hate that for him. I was hoping we'd still race it out to the end there, but we'll take a good point today when we can get it. And Chris running in front of the points there, I'm not going to race him hard and cost us both positions and lose points. So I'm cool with that.
Well, maybe Steven would have been all right if the two of you reckon he came home with a victory, but no. Well, Jeffrey, I'm sure you got some people you'd like to thank and shout out before we let you go celebrate another podium finish here.
Yeah, huge shout out to the whole Wagoner family. What they've been going through, it's rough. As I mentioned before, they helped me out in my hardest time, and my heart goes out to them. I know Dougie was back tonight. It was awesome to see him back in his truck tonight, and it bothered me a little bit the last couple of weeks, whatever, seeing his paint job and knowing it wasn't him, and it was hard. But I'm glad to have him back out here. I got to race really tight with him a couple times, so that felt really good to have him back out here. So Dougie, I'm glad to have you back, buddy. James, man, I appreciate what you do for us. If it wasn't for you, we wouldn't get to do all this like we get to do. So I really appreciate what you've done for all of us, man. You've been great. Want to thank Foothills Motorsports, my team here. We go here week in, week out, and we're competitive. At least one of us is, up front most of the race, some of the race. So we're out here trying to just get it done every week. Picked up a new sponsor for paint this week. So Bullet Motorsports has knocked out my paint. This was a tribute car to a real-life dirt track car that James and Doug ran. So this was a beautiful little paint job that I got to run for them. I was hoping to get it last week, but this is a tribute to them and everything they've done.
Yeah, I see we've got a lot of newer paint schemes tonight, some good-looking ones, and I have to say this is a sharp-looking scheme there, Jeffrey. And you're right, it was very nice to see Dougie back here, racing with everybody, and I'm gonna say it again, but he had the fastest lap of everybody right at the end too. So I think he had a chance to compete for a win if he really wanted to.
Oh, he did. He was fast. Like I said, I got around him a couple times, and he was really fast. Because considering what he just went through, dude was awesome tonight.
You running a top 5 at one point. So absolutely. Well, thank you, Jefford, so much. We appreciate it. We'll see you next week at Auto Club.
All right, appreciate it, buddy.
All right, we got one more Foothills driver to bring in. We spoke to him once today already. Our co-pole sitter, and Steven Shu. How we doing tonight, buddy?
I'm doing awesome. Awesome. I mean, this was tonight.
How about that? A 1-2-3 finish for the team. I even joked, like I said, I didn't notice until afterwards. But, man, how awesome that is for the three of you. Jeffrey said he wasn't going to try to run Barker hard and try to, and accidentally wreck the two of them. I joked maybe you'd be the only one on the team okay with that and come home with the victory. But, Steven, man, great race there. Oh, hold on. Looks like we lost him. I don't know what happened there, Steven. We lost you, but
oh, it kicked me out there for a second.
It did, yeah. But Discord's been doing that, so all right. You had a good race. How was it there? We'll let you try again.
It was an awesome race. I'm not in the points. Chris and Jeffrey, they're up there running the points. I've been a bridesmaid all season and never a bride to hit the podium. We was running 3 different strategies tonight. If you noticed, Ledford, he started in the back. I tried to get on the pole, and Chris stayed up front with me, and I tried a different strategy, dropping to the back, conserving, and every one of our strategies played out perfectly, and we wound up 1-2-3 at the end. Yeah,
I mean, and that was unbelievable. I mean, and he was overall there, talking about the driving and how you guys were able to do it. I know Ledford was definitely a driver, who didn't quite have the greatest start, and it really took him to the end of the race to get to the front. But for you, Steven, yourself, you said you're going to be fighting for some extra bonus points to ask for that pole position. I definitely do so right there. You're not that far off points-wise. That actually did move you, if I'm not mistaken, because it updates immediately, luckily with Iracing. Actually moves you right into 4th, just a point behind Jimmy since he missed out tonight.
Man, that'll be awesome. I mean, working with Foothills, I mean, we're all local boys to Wilkes. We know each other personally. We went to school together. We kind of grew up together a little bit.
That's awesome, yeah.
So, I mean, for us to later in life lose touch and come back together just by happenstance because we all got into iRacing was just awesome.
Hey, that is amazing. That is a beautiful thing just to hear that, because we make friends on here, but to reconnect as well that is awesome, Steven. I love to hear that. Thanks for sharing that. That is a genuine thing. Nice thing to hear for iRacing overall. Man, go ahead and give some shout outs. I'm sure you got some people you'd like to thank and shout out before we let you celebrate with your team.
Oh, definitely. I've got a shout out to Roughneck, just for putting the league on. Thank you up there in the broadcast booth. Shout out to Foothills for doing it tonight. Chris and Jeffrey worked good as a team. Shout out to my 2 boys, Liam and Dylan, and a big shout out to my wife for putting up with me being up here all the time.
You gotta give that shout out to the significant other. I almost made that mistake once, and my broadcaster, when we missed near and dear Tony, he said it. He said, "Angel, I'm gonna stop you right there, and I'm gonna remind you gotta thank someone before I hold you down." and she gets angry with you. So, Steven, congratulations again there. Yeah.
And definitely the sponsor. Wagoner's Welding. Big Dougie, that's just awesome. Tim for being one of the admins, Ace for doing his thing, and shout out to Race Control because it's changed a ton since we got Race Control. He's the man. He keeps everybody on their toes.
Yeah, I mean, the racing was great before. The racing, you guys managed to improve it even better. Yeah, and Paul's been great jumping in the broadcast as well, letting us and keeping us updated. So, hey, thank you again. We'll see you next week at Auto Club. See if you guys don't come home with a 1-2-3 finish, maybe in a different order with Steven up top this time.
Angel, thank you. Appreciate everything you do, man.
Always, man. Congratulations again, guys.
All right, bye.
All right, that was Steven Shu, our 3rd place finisher, man. Always loved enthusiasm. We get to hear from a lot of these drivers here. It is something that you don't always get to hear. And just the overall the enjoyment for everybody. We'll go here now to our. Jump back here to our leader just because he was our winner. Chris Barker, Jeffrey Ledford in second, Steven Shu in third for Foothills Motorsports, and that 1-2-3 finish. Jeff Scott, Chris Melton in his debut comes back for a 5th place finish there. Daniel Love, Jason Kinney, and Richard Hartman managed to come home there in 8th, even though he did not pit, so nice recovery for him. Brandon Hitton in his debut as well in 9th. Chad Hawkins in 10th. Ryan would finish in 11th. Ty Trafford in 12th. The Fort Worth native, maybe not the finish he was looking for here in his hometown. He was running up top 10 pretty much a good portion of the night as well, so at least a good race. Hopefully he can take away with it. Chris Ramsey in 13th, Larry Fairman in 14th, Jerome Coper in 15th, James Wagner 16th, Tim Richardson going to fall there to 17th. Matthew Gall having, as they mentioned, just an awful race from the very beginning. He tried to stick it out for as long as he could, would finish in 18th. And then finally in last would be Matthew Ace there in that 19th position. A few laps out of the lead here, 31 laps down. Want to thank everybody again tonight for joining us on the Sim Racing Media Network. Again, a big shout out to James Wagner's Welding for their sponsorship for the whole season. A big shout out to James for being able to come back and race tonight, and also again having the fastest lap there at the end. And also, please be sure to check out the roughneckracing.com. Let me make sure I have that actually correct. They do have their, let me make sure. Yes, roughneckracing.com. I can't post it in the chat for you guys. I'll post it next week. They did open up their new website. You can go ahead and check out their schedule. They do have races as well on Fridays and Sundays, so that you can go check them out there. They have all their drivers on there. Their pictures, where a lot of these guys, again, are friends. They get to meet up as well. So really awesome to get to see that. So check out their website if you want to go ahead and get more info on a lot of the people who race in this league and what they do and what this league is about. For us here in the Sim Racing Media Network, be sure to check us out on ours and make sure you're following on our socials, Facebook, Twitter, and, of course, here on YouTube. Like, share, subscribe. We've got some other racing going on. We know Mike Demoni over there doing the Racers Elite, if I'm not mistaken. We do thank everybody again for coming out tonight. We will see you next week, same time as always, from the beautiful Auto Club Speedway, currently under demolition, but thanks to Iracing, we get to keep it forever. You guys have a great night, and enjoy your evening.